Good morning. We are taking the next chapter 7, dealing with the issue of debentures, the accounting treatments. We have so far seen accounting treatment in case of issue of shares. As you know, I have already described to you, a company can raise capital from two sources. From the shareholders who buy the shares of the company, or it can take a loan. Any business, can raise finance capital from two sources. Its own source, like in case of a partnership firm, partners' contribution, plus the business can also take loan from outsiders. That loan is also a capital, but it is known as a debt capital. Own capital is known as equity capital or just equity, and loan capital is known as debt capital. Both the capitals are of course used in the business, but the debt capital is a loan on which you have to pay a contractual fixed rate of interest. The business which borrows money has to pay the interest. Such interest is a charge and profit. Right. Whereas people who contribute equity, partners in the case of a partnership firm or shareholders in the case of a company, are contributing capital to the share equity capital of the company. They are not entitled for any interest on their contribution, on their capital. However, the very purpose of doing the business is to make profit. So therefore, the shareholders are entitled to get a share of the profits as and when the company declares dividend. Not only that, if the company does not declare dividend, the undistributed profit will remain with the company, but it belongs to the shareholders. If you recall, we used to transfer the reserves to the partner's capital account either at the time of admission or at the time of retirement or death, including dissolution of the firm. So any undistributed profit belongs to the shareholders. So the profit belongs to the shareholders, whereas the debenture holders, lenders, those who have given loan, do not have the rights. So the mechanism by which the company raises loan are different. It can go to the bank, take loan, it can take short-term loan, it can take medium-term loan, it can take long-term loans, it can go to financial institutions like IDBI, IFCI, World Bank, IMF, and then take loan from financial institutions. But it can also issue securities to raise loan. Such securities are known as debentures, about which we are going to discuss in this chapter. In a very simple term, debenture refers to the debenture certificate issued by the company, a document, giving evidence of the fact that the company has taken loan from the holder of the debentures. If you recall, we talked about share certificate. Share certificate is the documentary proof that the holder of those share certificate has contributed so much of capital into the company. Right? So let us get into the debentures about little detail. A company raises its capital by means of issue of shares. But the funds raised by the issue of shares are seldom adequate to meet the long-term financial needs of the company. Right. I am just trying to give a logic as to why a company issues debentures. It issues shares to raise share capital. There are two reasons. One, the company may not be able to raise sufficient share capital. Why? People will only contribute when they are confident that the company will make profit to give them dividends. Alright? And there is a limit to the dividend expectations. So in order to meet its additional financial needs, companies go to lenders to borrow the money. So the loan is one way of taking money. But if you take a loan of a huge sum, let us say for example 10 crores, 1000 crores or 2000 crores, institutions, financial institutions and banks may put a lot of conditions, may require a lot of information. So in order to avoid and to make the contribution towards debt capital distributed among all the investors in the public, why only to take from bank? Take from all those persons who are ready to give loan. But then the public may be interested to give a loan for very small amounts, maybe 10,000, maybe 1 lakh. So in order to facilitate such people who are interested to invest in terms of debt capital, they are ready to lend money to the company, but they have only limited amounts. To facilitate them, in order to make the loan received by the company widely distributed among all the people who are interested to give loan, company are allowed issue a document, debentures, a security known as debentures. So debentures are issued either through the route of private placement or by offering the same to the public. Private placement, you can take some 50 people or 100 people or 200 people to issue debentures to them. The purpose of the company is to raise loan. It has identified some 100 people who are ready to lend, so it is issuing debentures. But still more beneficial, more common method is to issue debentures to the public, like shares, which means any member of the public can buy debentures from the company. Any member of the public can become lender to the company. So such a document is known as debentures. To be precise, section 2, subclass 13 of the Companies Act 2013 defines inclusively a debenture. Inclusively means debenture is something which can be take any form which it is described. Includes a debenture stock, which is a term used in USA, bonds, which is also used in USA and many of the Western countries like UK, or any other instrument of a company. You may call it by any name, but that instrument is an evidence of a debt taken by the company, whether constituting a charge on the assets of the company or not. What do you mean by whether constituting a charge? When you borrow money from someone, the lender will ask some security. Such a security in case of a company is known as a charge. What do you mean by security? A mortgage. Alright? What do you mean by mortgaging your property? In case a borrower is unable to pay his loan, then the property mortgage shall be used for realizing the amount due to the lender. So the debenture can be with such security, that is a charge on the assets of the company. Assets of the company becomes the mortgage element in the debenture holders, or it can be without, right? So this is the definition. We will see a bit little later. With this definition, the first point for you to understand clearly is try to make a distinction between shares, which we have discussed, and debentures, which are now we are going to take it up. First and the foremost thing, from the point of view of the relationship. In case of a shareholders, there is a relationship of owners of the company. There is nothing like an owner of the company, because company is an artificial person. But if you want to describe the shareholders, they actually own the assets of the company, the reserves of the company, the profits of the company. So the entire company is in a way owned by them. Why they are owned by them? Because they have contributed the equity capital. Debentures, they can never be owners for their lenders. The relationship is between of a loan, a lender versus borrower. Company is a borrower, and the persons who have bought the debentures, debenture holders, they are the lenders. Second important point, arising from the first, shareholders have a say in the management of the company. Debenture holders do not have any say in the management of the company. Because equity shareholders have contributed equity share capital, the ultimate control of the management is in the hands of the shareholders. What do? They appoint directors of the company. Every company shall have minimum 2 directors. In case of a public company, it shall be minimum 3 directors. So it is for the shareholders the right to appoint directors. Obviously, appointment right would mean removal them, and the directors collectively called as the board of directors report every year to the shareholders at the meeting, which must be compulsorily held for 1 year, every year, is known as annual general meeting. So you see the huge difference. Debenture holders, having given the money, having lent the money, do not have any right how to use the money, but they are entitled only to the interest. They are entitled to interest whether the company makes profit or not. Whereas the shareholders, they are not entitled to any interest, and they may get dividend or they may not get dividend, dependent upon the decision of the company. Company is represented by the board of directors, who are elected by the shareholders. Third, in case of debenture holders, the rate of interest is fixed. Fixed could be a floating in nature, but they shall be getting a rate of interest which shall be of a particular rate, is fixed at the time of issue of debentures for a simple reason. Debenture holders are actually lenders, so they are entitled to receive interest. No such fixed percentage of dividend is given to equity shareholders. Company need not guarantee the equity shareholders that you shall be paid so much of dividends. Yes, there is one small difference. As I already told you, in case of shares, a company can issue 2 types of shares: issue shares and preference shares. In case of preference shareholders, the rate of dividend is fixed at the time of issue of preference shares. What is the difference between this rate of dividend fixed and the rate of interest fixed for debenture holders? Debenture holders will get rate of interest fixed irrespective of the fact whether there is a profit or not. They will get their interest. Interest is an expense. Whereas in case of preference shareholders, they shall get their dividend, whatever is the rate of dividend fixed, only when the company makes the profits. Why the word use preference? Because they have a preference over equity shareholders for getting the dividend, which means you can pay dividend to equity shareholders only after paying the fixed rate of dividend to preference shareholders in case the company has issued preference shares. You know, a company must issue the equity shares because the members become the shareholders of it. Alright? What are the features of debentures which you should know thoroughly to understand the entities that we are going to discuss? Debentures are documents issued by a company against a loan taken by the company. When I am using the word document, it is a written certificate. It says the name of the company is issued by the company, under the signature of the company, under the seal of the company. It mentions the name of the debenture holder to whom it has been issued, number of debentures, the face value of a debentures. Just like shares, debentures shall have a face value. Usually this face value is very less, 100 rupees. Loan taken may be 1000 crores, but each debenture may be 100, so that small investors can also invest in these debentures. Debenture is most important instrument and method of raising loan capital by the company. Loan capital, debt capital. Debenture is a certificate, as I told you, of loan, or the loan bond evidencing the fact. What does the debenture says? It states that the company is liable to pay a specified amount with interest, and although the money raised by debentures becomes a part of the company's total capital structure, it does not become share capital. It always remains a loan capital. Now, debenture holders are the lenders of the company, right? Since they have given loan to the company. Debenture is only a document which is proving that the loan has been taken by the company from such persons. Since they are lenders and it is issued with a certificate, this loan has to be returned. What do you mean by has to be returned? Loan is always returned. So long you don't return, you have to pay interest, he will remain creditor. So the company would like to return the loan. As much as the lender will also like to get back the loan, debenture holders will like to get back their money. The process of returning the capital borrowed on debentures is known as redemption of debentures. How much you will redeem per debenture certificate, per debenture issue? It depends upon the face value. So what is the face value? It is the debenture capital value, the loan capital per debenture the company is borrowing. Just like shares, 10 rupees, 50 rupees or 100 rupees shares, face value, debenture will also be face value. Whenever we use the word debentures, we mean debenture capital and we mean always the face value. Remember one very important distinction between shares and debentures. Whereas in case of equity shares, the Memorandum of Association talks about authorized share capital. There is no such limit on the debentures. Company can borrow an unlimited amount in case there are people to lend. Don't forget that I cannot borrow unless and until someone is ready to lend me the money. But whereas in case of equity shares, the maximum share capital the company can raise is given through what is known as authorized share capital of the company. There is no such maximum limit given in the case of debentures. So therefore, the company can issue any amount of debentures with whatever value, different classes of debentures. All right. Do the debenture holders have a voting right? No. Since they are not the owners of the company, at the meetings of the company, the debenture holders do not have voting rights. Another important distinction between the shareholders and debenture holders. The shareholders have a voting right. In fact, equity shareholders have got a voting right in all the meetings of the company. Whereas preference shareholders have a voting right only on matters which affect the rights of the preference shareholders. So the general management of the company lies with the equity shareholders, and debenture holders do not have voting rights. So therefore, company cannot issue debentures with voting rights, or it has legally no meaning. Debenture holders are entitled to the interest at the rate determined by the company at the time of the issue of the debentures. And such interest is paid is a charge on profits of the company. You show it on the profit and loss account and not like dividend in profit and loss appropriation accounts. Interest you will have to pay because it is an expense chargeable on profit. You pay irrespective of the fact whether you have profit or you do not have profit. Usually, interest on debentures are paid either halfly or yearly. So if you say 10% per annum, company may pay 5% after 6 months and 5% at the end of the next 6 months. Or they may pay 10% at the end of the 1 year. Alright. So you have to be very careful to know when the interests are payable on debentures, whether they are halfly or whether they are yearly. Company shall create a debenture redemption reserve account out of the profits, which is equivalent to 25% of the value of the debenture subscribed of the company, available for payment of dividend, and the amount credited to such account shall not be utilized by the company except for redemption of debentures. Try to understand this concept, which we shall also see later on when we take up redemption of chapter debentures in the next chapter. No, redemption means repayment of the money taken on debentures. Just like it is a repayment of loan. So if you have borrowed money 1 crore rupees from a bank, when you return 1 crore of rupees, bank is no more your creditor. There is no more a liability. Similar logic concept will apply in case of debenture, and that is known as redemption. Redemption of debentures is just like you raise debentures, you redeem the debenture, you return the money borrowed from that. The moment you return the money, the debenture gets cancelled. There is no more debenture capital. There is no more debenture holders for your redeemed issues. Alright? Now suppose that a company raises loan capital, debt capital by issue of debentures, and debenture is for say 5 years because it is to be redeemed. The question comes when you are likely to redeem. Say it is after 5 years. So the debenture holders will have to wait for the company to earn profit, sufficient profit to pay their interest every year, plus at the end of the year to redeem their money. In order to ensure that certain amount of safeguard is done, Companies Act makes it compulsory for all the company which has issued debentures to set aside 25% of the profit available for dividends. 25% of the profits available for dividends into a separate account known as Debenture Redemption Reserve Account. It is a reserve account because it belongs to a profit. Profit for distribution. Profit for distribution as dividend, but not yet distributed. Before you distribute, you take away 25% of it in case the company issue a debenture. 25% of what? 25% of the debenture value the company has issued. So if the company has issued 100 crores of debentures, total value is 100 crores, 25% of it will be 25 crores. It will set aside from the surplus appropriation account and create a reserve known as Debenture Redemption Reserve. Remember, these profits are otherwise available for distribution of dividends, which means once you create Debenture Redemption Reserve account, you cannot use this money, the reserve money, redemption reserve money, for the distribution of dividends or for any purpose. The only purpose for which you can use this reserve is for the redeeming of debentures. Alright. So therefore, the law provides a minimum security of 25% for the redemption of debentures. The moment the company decides to issue debentures, it shall appoint one or more debenture trustees to look after the interests of the debenture holders. Mind you, they are not the owners, they have given their money and they do not know how the company will use that money. So in order to protect their interests, remember, debentures have been issued to lakhs of people, total public. None of the members of the public can come to the company and ask, how are you using my money? So in order to protect their interests, say for example, they don't get their interest, they don't get interest half-yearly, alright, they don't get the certificates that the interest has been paid, or all such issues. Or at the time of redemption, they are not debentures getting back their money, alright. So in order to protect their interests, it is the company which will take the initiative of creating a trust in which one or more debenture holders, not the company, debenture holders will become the trustees and they will hold their own meeting among themselves and take care of the interests of the debenture holders. Terms of redemption of debentures, that is how much you are going to redeem, when you are going to redeem, it is all decided at the time of issue of debentures. The prospectus, a document which is issued by the company for public issue of debentures, shall contain terms of the redemption of debentures. Alright. An issue of secured debentures may be made provided the date of its redemption shall not exceed 10 years from the date of issue. I am going to discuss just below, after this point, different types of debentures the company can issue. Now, in case of redemption of debentures, if such debentures are secured debenture means I have already told you security, charge. So, if the company has issued debentures which are secured as a charge on the profits or the assets of the company, such debentures are so secure. What do you mean by secure? In case the company does not redeem the debentures at the time fixed, the debenture trustees shall have the powers to sell those assets on which charge has been created and pay the debenture holders the money due to them at the time of redemption of the company. Such secured debentures, the company cannot give a period of more than 10 years. Issue of debentures, provided the date of its redemption does not exist 10 years from the date of issue, which means unsecured debentures you can issue it for 20 years, 30 years or 40 years. Though generally people don't buy debentures with a long redemption period because they would not like to take more risk. They would like to get back their money maybe after 5 years or 10 years. If they find it the company is good, at the end of 10 years, they may again buy the fresh debentures. But they would like to get back the money, redeem the money at the end of that. Right. Now let us try to see what are the different types of debentures the company can issue. In case of shares, I told you the company can issue equity shares or preference shares. Alright. And both of these shares shall not have differential voting rights. All the equity shareholders will have the same right and all the preference shareholders will have the same right. In case of debentures, there are no voting rights. What are the different types of debentures the company can issue? From the security point of view, that is, since the debenture represents a loan, what is the security that is given to the lenders, debenture holders? If the company is providing some security, say charge on the assets of the company, such debentures are known as secured debentures. They are declared as secured debentures. The name of the debenture is secured debentures. Right. Whenever you are using the word debentures, you will always prefix it with a fixed rate of interest. And then if it is secured in bracket secured, debentures accounts. So if the company is issuing 15% rate of interest secured debentures, it will be called as 15% within bracket secured debentures account or 15% debentures bracket secured accounts. Debenture which does not have any security, they are known as unsecured debentures. Now, unsecured debentures does not mean the debenture holders will not get back their money, mind you. Trustees are there even for unsecured debentures. Unsecured debentures means there are no specific assets on which a charge has been created. When you create a charge on some specific asset, on the non-payment of a loan, the debenture holders can simply get back their assets, sell the assets and get back their money. In case of unsecured debentures, there are no such specific assets. So they will have to wait till the company sells any of its assets and then make the payment. Alright, so there is no difference between secured and unsecured debentures in the legal right of getting their money back. Redemption of debentures is common to both of them. Then debentures can also be differentiated in terms of tenure point of view. I have already talked to you. Tenure point of view, it can be fixed period, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. In case of secured debentures, maximum it can be 10 years. So it can be of different years. Convertibility point of view, a debenture holder has a choice to get back his money at the time of redemption, or he can convert the debentures into shares, equity shares, when at the time of redemption. He does not want to take back the money, but he can convert that into equity shares, or he may convert them into a new debentures which the company is issuing. Alright, so you have got convertibility of debentures. Alright, mind you, if debentures are converted into share capital, then the share capital issue entry will be made. The issued capital will increase. But if you are converting debentures into another class of debenture, simply you will redeem one debenture and issue another class of debentures. Alright. Coupon rate point of view. What do I mean by coup rate? Coupon. Debenture certificate in Western countries are known as coupon, bonds. And the rate of interest is known as a coupon rate. Usually the practice that whenever debentures are given, the small piece of paper with the rate of interest given and legal paper is attached. They are known as coupons. Anyone who has a coupon rate can go to the company and get back the rate of interest. That is what we mean by the coupon rate. Though in India, we don't have such practice. What do you mean by coupon rate? The rate that is fixed can be specific. 5%, 6%, 7%, or the floating rate. Nowadays, you have rate of interest by bank two types: fixed rate of interest, floating rate of interest. Which says, in case of fixed rate of interest, it's given 10%, 15%. Floating rate of interest will keep floating. There will be a formula fixed at the time of issue of debentures. So it may be minimum 10. It will increase in case of certain events happen. It will decrease in case of certain event happens. So usually this floating rate is linked to the bank rate of the Reserve Bank of India. Right. Generally, you can keep both fixed and floating rate as the specific rate, and we are normally concerned, usually in your examples, examination questions, we are talking about fixed rate of interest. There is what is known as a zero rate coupon rate. What do you mean by zero rate? Apparently, it means the company does not pay any interest. Then why would anyone buy debentures? So the zero rate of interest, though not allowed in India, still in Western countries it is allowed in case, let us say for example, a debenture value is 100 rupees. Right. He gets 10% interest. So how much he is getting? 10% on 100 would become 10 rupees. Now instead of giving that 10 rupees as interest, I reduce the value of the debenture from 100 to 90 rupees. I am giving you a debentures worth 100. That means redemption will be of 100 rupees, but I am issuing at a price of 90, 10% discount. We talked about price, issue price. Now, in case issue price is with a discount, which means 100 rupees debentures are issued at 90. Debenture holders will get 100 rupees, but they are issued at 90. This is known as issue of debentures at a discount and without any rate of interest. Such debentures are known as zero rate of interest. A registration point of view, a debenture certificate is usually registered with the company. The company records the name of the debenture holder, the number of debenture he is holding, his address, and all these things. This is what we mean by registered debentures. Suppose the company removes the names of the debenture holder, makes the debenture certificate a bearer document. Bearer document is a legal term which says that any person who is holding the debenture shall be the debenture holder.